All right, so if you're watching this video, number one, congrats, because you landed on the perfect video if you want to pull women consistently. Now, I assume that if you clicked on this, you're the type of guy that likes to date women, that likes to go out, that likes to socialize and meet people and have fun. And this is the perfect video for you if you want to be able to not only have fun and be social and go out, but also pull women home every single time you go out, or pretty much every single time, so that you're not just there getting drunk and wasting your time. You're also there and meeting new women, dating them, sleeping with them if that's your goal, and just having a constant pipeline of new women into your life. Now, even if you don't want to sleep with them, by the way, this video is going to be very useful because it's going to teach you a lot of social dynamics that most guys aren't even aware of. So, without further ado, let's dive in and let's start the video.
Now let's talk about the nighttime approach system. So number one, when you approach women, make sure you square up. Okay, don't try to talk to women behind their back. Don't tap from the back. No, nothing is more unattractive to a woman than a guy trying to talk to her while she's not facing him. Like square up when approaching her. Your shoulders should be facing her shoulders, should be aligned with hers. Your hips should be facing her hips and aligned with her hips. Okay, so get in front of her. If you were to step forward, like your nose would be touching her nose. That means in front of her. Okay, same for daytime. Now, you need to take the straightest path to the girl. Like try to catch eye contact first if you can. But even if you don't catch eye contact, just approach. Like visualize a direct line from you to the girl and then walk that line. Do not zigzag or do not like try to aimlessly wander or hover around. Take the shortest path possible from point A to point B to the girl. Don't linger around. Just go, okay? Because a lot of guys, they linger around her periphery and women can sense it. And then they approach too late and the girl knows that they're just bitching out. And women have a seventh sense for this. They know if you've been lingering around for 10 minutes without approaching, and then all of a sudden you approach her, they're gonna feel that, okay? So better to open directly with enthusiasm, with confidence, even if it's not a perfect approach, just do it, okay? Because otherwise they're gonna sense it if you just stand there. Now, you wanna smile on the opener always, because you wanna appear non-threatening, so you always wanna smile. And you want to create a friendly vibe so that she knows that you're okay, you're safe, you're here to have fun. So you have to be able to smile, even just for a second, so that she thinks that, okay, this guy is not a threat. This guy has positive intentions. Because if you're just approaching like a serial killer and you're just looking at her in a very serious manner, it's not going to work. Okay. Now, if she's standing at the bar, like let's say she's standing at the bar, and she's facing the bar, you can come next to her, okay? And you can talk to her from the side, like this, like from over your shoulder. But the conversation should very quickly lead to both of you facing each other at some point. So it's okay to approach a girl sideways at first and then square up, okay? But you don't want to be the guy totally facing her while she's facing the bar. If she's not facing you, don't face her. So try to face up with her, but if she doesn't mirror that, then go back to talking with her sideways. So you want to open like you mean it, okay? You want to open directly with certainty, with enthusiasm. Like how excited can she possibly be to meet a guy that isn't excited to meet her? Like if you don't show enthusiasm when meeting her, how is she going to show enthusiasm? Like she's going to mirror you, whatever you feel she feels. So this does not mean like you need to treat her like a princess and put her on a pedestal and kiss her ass. Treat her like a human that you're sincerely curious about and that you want to know more about. That's it. Just treat her like a person you want to know more about and be curious about her. Now, during the beginning of an interaction, don't expect her to be over-investing because she doesn't know you much. So you should be leading the conversation most of the time and doing 80 to 90% of the talk during the beginning, because you want to give her enough of a sample size of your personality so that she feels actively Like she feels like she wants to stay. You need to reach a certain hook point. If she's not hooked yet, keep talking, keep asking questions until she's hooked. And at some point, you're gonna reach a certain hook point where she wants you to stay more than she wants you to leave. Okay, so yeah, in the beginning, don't expect her to be extremely enthusiastic and don't expect her to be asking you a ton of questions. Be the one leading the conversation. Be the one leading, like asking questions and saying things until eventually she reciprocates and she feels comfortable. Okay, so don't eject yourself from the interaction if she's not like asking you a ton of questions. That's fine. The biggest indicator of interest is that she's still there. As long as she's still there talking with you and replying to you, that's fine. You're solid. Now, as I said, once you reach a certain hook point, then you can be doing like 50% of the talking, and she's also gonna be reciprocating. A good sign of interest is that she reciprocates and she asks questions back. So if a girl asks you, like, oh, and you, what do you do? Or, oh, and you, where are you from? Or, oh, what's your name, by the way? All of these things, they're great because that means like, oh, she's now curious, she's now interested. And always be gathering information about her logistics and always be sharing logistical elements with her that would help for the close or that would help your cause, okay? So your close or the close. So yeah, you want to be doing that. Now, if you approach her on the dance floor and she's receptive, like she dances with you and she shows signs of interest, you don't need much talking. A lot of it will be body language, eye contact. You just need a minimum of talking, like her name, where she's from, who she's here with. Like a lot of times, I approach women in a dance floor and it goes super quickly. Like I don't need to talk with her. Like it's just like, oh, I grab her hand, I spin her around, we dance, I ask for her name, and it goes quickly, you know? So it's fine. Now, when you go out, the girls you interact with will fall into three categories. There's gonna be the yes girls, there's gonna be the maybe girls, and there's gonna be the no thank you girls, okay? Now, you always wanna try to focus on the yes girls mainly, the girls that are really interested, the girls that are reciprocating interest, okay? If you encounter such women who are attracted to your type, who are reciprocating your interest, who are asking you questions, etc., do not waste your time with other girls. Try to really filter down. And you want to be vibing and saying what you mean, and you have to be able to say whatever comes to mind. Don't filter yourself. Like really try to speak with no filter. Be shameless about who you are. Do not try to micromanage what comes to mind and analyze everything before you say it. Just fucking say it. Even if it's some outlandish stuff. Like sometimes I say to girls like, hey baby, we're gonna make some babies together. I like your eyes. You know, we're gonna whatever. Like sometimes I compliment a girl on her eyes. I say, oh nice, you have green eyes. Me too. We're gonna have some babies together and stuff. And I just say that, and I know it sounds a bit too much, but I don't care. You know? So even if it's something too naughty, if she doesn't like it, you could just say, oh, I'm just kidding, you know? Or you could say something like, oh, I almost said that I wanted to slap your booty, but I didn't say. All right. I almost was about to say that I want to have babies with you, but I'm not going to say it. And then you calibrate. Now, if she's offended by what you're saying, if what you're saying is a bit crazy, just empathize with her and say something like, haha, we're just kidding, don't worry. And just move on. Just say something else, okay? So you can say whatever comes to mind and then just calibrate, okay? If she reacts negatively, just have fun and say you're just joking, okay? So you have to be playful, you have to be curious, you have to be sexual, otherwise it's boring, you know? What you say doesn't matter as much as how you make her feel. And if she's bored, you're fucked. So it's better to make her feel negative emotions than her being bored. So how you make her feel is what will stick with her, not the exact words you use. And in nightclubs, your body language, your tonality, your certainty when you speak is a lot more important than your words. And it is harder to communicate there. It's a loud nightclub, like it's going to be harder to communicate words rather than nonverbal communications. So that's why it's more important. Now, obviously, for longer conversations, you want to use all the tools we covered already in week 4. So we covered a lot of things in week 4. Remember, we covered how to open, how to hook, how to cold read. We covered a lot of conversational hacks. We covered demonstrating high value, how to qualify, how to frame control, how to sexualize. Like, we covered so many things, guys. So you want to use all these tools. Remember the verbal operating system. Go back to my program in week 4. And if you're not in my program, get in my program right now. I don't know if I'm going to include this in a training, a free training or a YouTube video. If I do, then you're lucky. But yeah, this is basically the verbal system. Okay. So you want to be using what we covered.
By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Limo Oueslati, and for the past 7 years, I've been helping entrepreneurs, professionals, and just ambitious guys to attract, date, and retain amazing women. But not only that, I've also helped them with their business, with their fitness, with every single area of their lives. But most guys come to me just for dating. But it's a whole. You got to be full stack these days. So I teach them so many more things beyond dating. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, subscribe as well. You'll find a lot of great content there about dating and many other things. And without further ado, let's dive in.
Now, in order to pool properly, you need to have lengthier conversations probably, because as I said, you need to have enough time spent with a girl for her to feel at ease and invested enough to go home with you. And usually that's going to be from 20 minutes up to an hour, 2 hours for her to truly feel at ease coming home with you. Okay. Now, it really depends on the situation, the part of the night, and her buying temperature, the buying temperature she's in. So if I meet a girl at 2 a.m. in a club and she's already dancing and having fun, I won't need much talking at all to pull her home because her buying temperature is going to be very high. However, if I meet a girl at a gala dinner or very early on during the night, then I will need to make her jump through many hoops, and I will need to really build that emotional leverage for her to be attracted and aroused, right? So it's going to take more time. It really depends. Now, make sure that when you meet women at night, you qualify them. Because if you're only interested in them for their beauty, then they're going to question your value. They're going to think that you're just there to sleep with them quickly. And people value what they work for. So qualify them, like ask them, by the way, do you work out? By the way, what do you do? By the way, do you like traveling? I like girls who travel with me. By the way, do you blah, blah, blah? Make sure you qualify them. And you don't want to kiss their ass. It's not about making every girl like you. It's about sorting through the bullshit and finding the ones that you're compatible with. Because there's going to be a lot of girls that you're not meant to be with that night. And you have to really filter quickly. So now on that topic, let's talk about some screening mechanisms for success. And then we're going to talk about more like pooling tactics and problem solving. So let's dive into it. So there's going to be 3 things you're screening for whenever you meet a girl nighttime, okay? Number 1, fun versus no fun. Okay, we're going to cover that. Number 2, logistics versus no logistics. Number 3, emotional availability versus no availability. So let's talk about number 1, fun versus no fun. Listen, if you don't enjoy talking to her, then she's not fun. And there's no sense. It doesn't make sense continuing an interaction with a girl if you're not having fun. If she's unreasonably difficult to talk to or she's hostile, like, fuck it. I know some experts would tell you to just plow through the whole night, etc. But I find that plowing through is almost always completely and utterly a waste of time. Like, value your time, value your attention. So if a girl is hostile and she's difficult to talk with, like, fuck her. Leave that interaction and go talk to a girl that's more fun. There's no reason for you to try to force every interaction to go the way you want it. If a girl is not fun, regardless of whether she happens to be a good logistical candidate for a one-night stand or not, there's plenty of more girls. Like, I'm just gonna leave, period. If she's not fun to be around, fuck her, on to the next. I want to have fun too, Now, number 2, logistics versus no logistics. One of the first things you want to do when you're interacting with a girl is you want to discern her logistics and her social dynamics. So if she's fun, and only if she's fun, then you want to screen for logistics, like who is she here with? How do they know each other? Where is she living? And you want to understand her situation, because if she has bad logistics, but she's fun, you can get her number or her Instagram so that you can pursue her later on or date her later on. But just move on, man, because you're not going to pull her. So better focus on the girls that you can pull if that's your goal. Once again, if only that is your goal. If your goal is just to collect Instagrams, then that's fine. Now, for logistical availability, you have to ask some of the 5 mandatory logistical questions. And after each question, which I'm going to give you, you want to reciprocate and offer your own logistics too. You want to make it conversational. You don't want to ask these 5 questions that I'm going to give you in a row, okay? And you want to ask these 5 logistical questions in every interactions with women that you have fun with. So if a woman is fun, if you're talking with a woman, even if she's not fun, even in the beginning, just ask these questions to understand her situation, okay? And you want to ask them early on, okay? In the first 2 to 5 minutes of you interacting with women during nighttime, from now on until you're dead, ask these 5 questions, okay? Number 1, where are you from? Number 2, who are you here with? Number 3, how do you guys know each other? Number 4, which area do you live in? Like, do you live in the same city center? Like, where do you guys live? Number 5, what's your plans tomorrow? Very important to ask these. Each of these have an aim. After each question, you can reciprocate your own thing. So if you ask her where you're from and she replies to you, then reciprocate and tell her where you are from. You know, if you ask her who she's with, then after her reply, tell her who you're with. See what I mean? And if you don't have these questions in your head already, then write them down right now on your phone so you don't forget. And you don't want to ask all these questions in a row. As I said, you want to sprinkle them throughout the conversation, okay? So if you ask all these questions in a row, it's going to come across very weird, okay? So keep in mind that. And by asking these questions, you will know who is an actual candidate for a one-night stand and who isn't. And this way you can screen out those that will be most likely wasting your time, right? So always screen and look for logistical availability, look for fun, look for emotional availability as well. This is what we're going to cover now. So now let's talk about emotional availability versus no emotional availability. So usually if a girl flirts back with you, she's probably not going to be in a relationship. She's probably going to be single. However, some girls, they like to flirt back anyway. And if you're not sure, it's better to ask her, like, are you single, by the way? Or are you married, by the way? If she's single, she's going to say no. Because most of the time, especially if you ask, are you married, by the way? Like if she's in her early 20s, probably she isn't. And she's going to laugh and tell you that she isn't. And if she has a boyfriend, then she'll tell you I have a boyfriend. But you really want to screen for that. You really want to ask her, like, oh, are you single, by the way? At some point, if you're not sure, okay? Now, if you're certain that she's not single because she's dancing with you, she's kissing you, whatever, then that's fine. But you really want to screen for that. Now, assume that there's no boyfriend if he is not physically there. Because women sometimes say that they have a boyfriend just to test you and see if you're genuinely interested in them. So sometimes it's a test, so be careful. So if she's still showing interest, if she's still there dancing with you and stuff, then assume she doesn't have a boyfriend and just keep moving things forward, especially if she's kissing you or touching you. If the girl has high interest in you, one of the potential obstacles could be her friends. So you also want to spend some time socializing with her friends as well, so that they can trust you and so that they can really let her go with you without cock blocking you. That's very, very important. Like, you have to keep in mind that no matter how much she likes you, she's also balancing her relationship with others, with her friends, with her girls, etc., her peer group. So that's important. And the thing is, after you have your fundamentals in place, once you have good body language, you dress well, you have good eye contact, etc., you know how to speak, then there's going to be 2 things you're going to spend the most time on, especially nighttime. The first one is screening for logistics and dealing with her peer group. And the second thing is solving problems or potential objections she has. These are the two things you're going to spend most of your time on nighttime if you are a pool. Like screening for logistics, dealing with her peer group, dealing with what's happening during the night, moving her around, etc., building trust. And then second thing is solving potential objections and going for the pool and all of that. These are the things you can spend your time on. Now, one thing is you want to meet and befriend her friends quickly. Okay, beautiful women almost never go out to nightclubs alone. So expect that any woman you meet will have friends. And at some point, she's going to either need to check in on her friends or her friends are going to check in on her and they're going to come to find her. So from the start, I highly, highly recommend be very proactive about finding or introducing yourself to the friends, okay? So if they are there when you approach, if her friends are next to her when you approach, then introduce yourself to them within the first few seconds, shake their hands, ask their names, etc. And if you approach a girl alone and some time has passed, then ask if she has friends in the environment. And if she does, then be proactive about go and meeting them. You want to meet them quickly. And you want to talk to them enough to establish that you're normal, that you're safe, that you're a cool person. And sometimes you can make it clear to the group that you like her, that you like each other. You can playfully vocalize the fact that you're interested in her. And that's what builds a certain narrative. Sometimes you can say things like, hey guys, Sarah and I, we're getting married tonight. Do you guys approve of us? Or you can say, hey, I think your friend is in love with me. I kind of like her too. We're gonna have babies together. And you can just like make it clear to the group and have fun with it. But in between these statements, like you have to be fun and you need to talk to the group and they need to feel like you would fit in with the group well if you were to date their friend. So you really want to appear trustworthy, appear fun, ask the group's name, ask what they do, ask how they know each other, and make it fun, you know? Now, also speaking of narrative, you can also make a narrative between you and the girl, like this same night romance narrative. You can build a mini storyline between you and the girl. For example, you can say, hey, this is going to be our anniversary spot if we date. Every year we can come back here and this is where we first met. Or you can say things like, we're going to cause some trouble if we keep running into each other tonight. Or things like that, you know? Just like a few funny narratives that makes the idea of living together feel like part of the story, you know? You can make a storyline. So this is very powerful as well. Now, if you have friends or if you have girls you previously talked with, you can merge the girls together and introduce them together. So let's say you approach a group of 3 girls and it goes well with them and you get along with them. And then later on that night, you approach another group and it goes well as well. Well, you can potentially merge these groups and introduce the groups to each other. You can be the connector between multiple groups of girls. You can say, hey guys, come meet these guys. And you can just like link them up together. And this becomes really powerful. You become the life of the party when you do that. So you can either introduce groups of girls together or girls between each other individually, or you can introduce your group to her group. So if you came with 2, 3 wingmen or 1 wingman, well, you can introduce that guy or all the guys you're with to her group and her friends. And that's going to allow as well your friends to occupy her friends. So this is super powerful. So try to introduce her to your friends and make her introduce you to her friends. And if there's an opportunity to merge your group with her group, this is very powerful. The frame is that your group can come hang out with my own group and your whole group will be better off because of it, right? This is also an opportunity for her to build social status within her own peer group by merging them with the more valuable group, especially if you have a table. If you have a table or you have like some alcohol and you're calling the shots and you're giving her friends drinks, etc., you're making them better off that way. So by her merging her group with your group, she's gonna have more status. You're gonna build more status for her. Now, when it comes to pooling, like going for the pool equals endurance plus logistics. Like really, time is your best wingman. You need to have enough time spent with a girl for her to feel comfortable enough going home with you. So stick with her. Try to really pull her to your place. Try to make the sex happen. You know, a lot of guys, they settle for a number or a contact where they could have pulled her, you know? Like, don't settle for that. Like, if you can go for the pool, commit to that till the end. Don't just settle for a phone number and then go back home alone. You see what I mean? Like, just go for it. And you gotta escalate physically, logistically, and sexually. The words you say have a lot less influence on her attractions towards you versus what you do. A woman needs an experience to feel attracted, not just a conversation. So, in order for you to create a sexually charged experience, you need to make sure you escalate physically by touching her, logistically by moving her from a place to another, and also sexually by putting her in a sexual mood and escalating verbally as well. And physical escalation is a crucial part of any interaction, especially nighttime, because that's what differentiates like a friendly conversation and a sexual one. And in a nightclub, escalation should be started early, like at least within the first 5 minutes of you meeting her, you should start touching her, like maybe brushing up her shoulder, touching her bicep if you're asking her if she works out, giving her a hug, dancing with her. It doesn't matter, but you need to be physical from the get-go. And it depends on her level of comfort too. Like some girls are more comfortable with public displays of attention and some girls aren't. So you need to be aware of that as well. Now, escalation can be made all the more powerful if you're the one who stops the escalation rather than waiting for her to do it. Because at some point, if you escalate too much, she's going to be the one pulling back. And ideally, you want to be the one pulling back first. So if you see that she's enjoying the escalation, this is going to make her chase you even more. Let me explain. For example, let's say you make out with her for a few seconds. Then what you want to do is you want to actively stop first and you want to continue the conversation. And like a drug dealer, you're giving her the ability to chase you, the ability to wait for you to kiss her again. Or maybe she's going to be the one leaning in and trying to kiss you. So this is very powerful. You know, you kiss her a bit and then you stop first and then you make her want to chase for the kiss more again. And this is so powerful. So as you kiss the girl, pull away, leaving her wanting more. And then start arranging the pool. Start seating in her head that you guys are going to do an after party. Start moving her around. Start checking on her friends and telling her friends as well that you guys want to do something later. Like you got to be proactive, you know. Don't fall for just like giving her validation and kissing her endlessly, okay? I see so many guys, like they're just make-out guys. They just make out a lot with the girl, but then they never leave with the girl. You want to make out a little bit just to cement physicality, but then let her chase physically. All right, so now let's talk about pulling tactics and problem solving. So if you want to pull, you need to have a girl that's compliant and that's following your lead. And the way to do that is you want to test for compliance over time. And you can test with small things and see if she's okay with doing them. For example, if she's okay with walking from point A to point B in the venue, that's a good sign. For example, if you're dancing with a girl on the dance floor and then you tell her like, hey, let's go to the bar, let's grab drinks. And she's willing to go with you to the bar, that means like she's bought in and that's a good sign. Or if you say, oh, hey, it's a bit loud here, let's go to the smoking area and let's go talk there, and she follows you, then that's great because she complies with you, right? So you want to build compliance, and that also builds investment as well. You want to gather as much compliance as you can. You know, you want to test also, is she okay with you touching her? Is she okay with you leading her around the venue? All these things are super important. And she doesn't necessarily have to show a big interest or a big eagerness to have sex with you. Because remember that the biggest indicator of interest is that she's still sticking around. Like if she's still sticking around, then that's fine. Like think about it. Like she could go anywhere else in the venue, but if she's still with you, if she's still talking with you and she's around you, that means she's interested. You know, otherwise she would go back to her friends or she would talk to someone else. She would leave. But if she's still there, that means like she's kind of somewhat interested. Okay, so that's fine. Now, every time you get some compliance, that's an investment that she puts into you. So anytime she leaves the dance floor to go with you to the bar, that's an investment that she's making. And the more investment that she puts into you, the more she backward rationalizes that she's attracted to you. Like the more investment that she puts into you, the more she rationalizes that she's attracted to you. And the more time she spends with you, well, the more hoops she's going to fall into, the more questions she's going to answer, the more attention she's going to give you, the more she's going to become attracted. Like the more you make her invest, the more you make her comply, the more you make her move around, etc. The more you build that investment, you know? There's also a very famous tactic called the Benjamin Franklin effect. So if you want a girl to be more attracted to you, you need to find a way to make her do more for you. And one way to get her to invest in you is to make her jump through hoops and request her to do things. And a hoop is a form of a request or a favor. It's a way of getting more compliance. So for example, if you're holding a drink, you can say, oh, can you hold my drink 1 second? I just have to say hi to a friend. Or, hey, can you watch my coat? Can you watch my back? Can you watch me here? Can you wait for me here? Hey, can you order me this? Can you order me like a shot, whatever? And that's a hoop. That's a way to make her invest, you know? Now, if she can't agree to move with you around the venue, like if she can't agree to go from the dance floor to the smoking area or the dance floor to the bar, then she probably surely won't come to your place. And you need to test things to find out her compliance level. So always test her compliance level. Always test if she's willing to move around with you. Otherwise, it's going to be harder, you know? Same, if I tell the girl to go outside to get some fresh air and she accepts, I know that she might be ready to be pulled. You know, if a girl is willing to spend time with me and move around the venue with me and follow my lead, then I know that there's a high chance I can probably move her to an after party with me. However, if she says no, then I know that I might need to build more compliance. So I need to build more attraction, more compliance, more trust. And you have to work your way up the compliance ladder, you know? And you have to test compliance after a few minutes in. Like after a few minutes of you talking with her, test her. Like see if she's willing to move around the venue with you. See if she's willing to jump through hoops for you. See if she's willing to, leave her friends a little bit to stay with you, stuff like that, right? And always choose compliance over enthusiasm. Would you rather have an enthusiastic woman that refuses to follow your lead or the opposite? Well, it's better to have both, of course, but always choose compliance over enthusiasm, always. Now, let's talk about seeding the pool and then going for the pool, because it can't just happen from thin air, okay? Like, you need to seed it in her mind first. Like, before leading her somewhere else and pulling her to your place or to a sex location, you need to plant the idea in her head. So usually about 15 to 30 minutes before the actual pool, even before that, I would plant a seed in her head. I would say things like, oh, I know a really cool after party we can go to, or, oh, this club is going to close soon. We should, I know a really cool spot. We can grab drinks there and listen to some music, whatever. And you need to give her an excuse not to make her feel like a slut as well. You can't just say like, oh, hey, I really like you. Do you want to fuck and go to my place? Or do you want to have sex? Like, you can't just say that. You have to make a plausible excuse, right? And the main thing is you want to seed the pool beforehand so that it doesn't just come from thin air when the time comes, okay? Now, whenever you lead the girl from a place to another, like from the dance floor to the bar, from the bar to the smoking area, it doesn't matter. I call it the grab her hand technique. You always want to grab her hand because women love to be led. And when you two decide to get a drink or go somewhere else, always grab her hand to help her move faster and plow through the crowd. But also it signals that you guys are together, So you can say, hey, let's go there. And as you do so, grab her by the hand and lead, and always be the one in front of her, not behind her. Okay. So when you lead to go somewhere, when you lead to go to the bar, when you lead to go to the smoking area, grab her hand and go in front of her and plow through the crowd for her and lead things, super important. Always do this. So just always grab her hand when you move around. And this single act makes the relationship way more real. And it almost makes you two feel like a couple sometimes. And it shows that you're a leader, and it also helps establish your relationship to the rest of the club, that you guys are together. And don't ask, like, don't just say, like, oh, hey, do you want to go to the bar maybe? No, just say, hey, I want to go to the bar, come with me, right? Don't ask, just state it, state where you want to go, and then lead by grabbing her hand, and that's it. And if she's compliant, then she'll follow you. If she's not, then that's a sign that, yeah, you need to either work on her more, or just switch and go with a girl that's more compliant, you know? And the more the girl likes you, the more compliant she will be naturally. So you can kind of gauge where you're at depending on her willingness to answer certain hoops and her willingness to move around with you. So if I say, hold my hand, and she says yes, I know I'm at a certain point in the interaction. I know that I'm at a certain point where she trusts me, right? And you never want to be the makeout guy, as I said. So when you have a great conversation with a girl and you're sexualizing further and you're physical, you can kiss her, but kiss her briefly just to cement the physicality even more. But that's it. And it's not even necessary. Like, I've pulled countless women without even kissing them first. I just kiss them once I'm at my place. And yeah, when you kiss her too much, you give her too much validation, and that's it. So you don't want to do that. And reward her spontaneity. Always tell her, like, oh, I love how spontaneous you are. I love how fun you are. You're so fun. You're so spontaneous. You're so adventurous. I like that. Always reward that. Okay. You want to give, as I said, like, when you see the pool, you want to give a plausible excuse, like, hey, I have a really cool view I want to show you, or oh, there's a really cool after party. We can put music. It's going to be great there. Or you want to give her some sort of excuse to come back home with you. Okay. Like, I've got a view I want to show you. It's pretty cool. We can have an after party there. Or, oh, I'm hungry. Let's get out of here. We can order some food together. I know a cool place. It's just 5 minutes away. Like, always give an excuse. And this comes back to frame control. It's better to pre-frame her behavior. Like, give the girl a compliment on a mindset that you want her to have for her to come home with you. So for her to come home with you, probably she's going to need to be spontaneous. She's going to need to be adventurous. She's going to need to be open-minded. So reward that in her, compliment that in her, compliment that trait in her, so that she feels more compelled to showcase that specific aspect of her personality to you, right? Because if you compliment someone on something, well, they're going to want to do it more so that they don't disappoint you. So the reason why is because it's basic human nature to not want to disappoint. So if you tell someone that that person is hardworking, well, they're gonna want to prove that to you. They're not gonna want to disappoint you. If you tell to a girl, like, girl, I love how spontaneous you are. You're so fun. Well, they're not gonna want to disappoint. They want to keep showing that side of themselves, right? So you want to tell her things like, you're so spontaneous. I like that. I love that. Reward her spontaneity and her adventurousness so that she keeps behaving even more like that, right? Now, sometimes, and it's very natural, you're going to have girls that are hesitant to leave because of their friends or because of some other reason. So what you can do is you can baby step the pool. You can leave together towards another fun spot first before transitioning to your place. So you can go to a 24-hour diner or a kebab pizza place that's open, or you can go to an after hours bar, whatever, and then you can potentially transition to your place. And this reduces the resistance because it baby steps everything and it builds more trust. And you can even baby step it with her friends, as I said, with the group. So that's kind of a pool diversion tactic. And also there's something to be said about the timing. So you don't just wait until closing time to pool. I don't recommend that. You don't want to pool when the lights are on, the lights came on, etc. Like, yeah. You want to pool when she's still choosing you over the rest of the night. Like, you want to pool towards the second part of the night, not the third part of the night, ideally. So try to pool before the lights are on and the club is going to close. It's very important, I would say. So always do that. Try to pull sooner or before if you can. Not too soon. Like, I would say just second part of the night. Okay?
So if you're watching this, that means you stayed until the end. Congrats, because most people don't have any attention span nowadays. But if you've been watching this till the end, that tells me that you're pretty serious and you're pretty focused. So that's good. And if you want to take it a step further and you want to learn the other systems that I have, the other methods that I teach my clients for them to be able to date one, two, three women every single week without wasting their time, then check out the link in the description. There's a video explaining exactly my full method, showing you exactly the systems that you can put in place to crush it. We also have a free school community that you can join. And if you're serious and you feel like you want to level up in the next few weeks, then you can book a time with myself or my team. Anyways, thanks again for watching this video. And yeah, check out the other videos in my channel if you haven't yet. Yeah, you can like, you can comment. I check all my comments. I will reply to your comment if you comment. And I'll see you very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe.